What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Sunless Sea Zubmariner. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we make our way to Mount Palmerston, but also the Chapel of Lights. I forgot about that. In the previous episode, we had absolutely destroyed Mount Nomad, but he had taken a piece out of us. He had left us with a scar to remember him by, and I like that. I like that because that means that we had to earn the fight. You know what I mean? I will eat of the chapel's bounty. Sounds good. Gather intelligence. I can give them seasoning for their feasts. Ooh, ambiguous eoliths. Cool. Wonder what that makes happen. Another day, time the healer 50. Oh, it has to be 50 days before you... Oh, you get 3 ambiguous eoliths for an extraordinary implication. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I guess. It's not something that I'll probably ever do, because I'll forget, because ambiguous eoliths are used like all over the place for all kinds of random stuff. I tend to remember like the one big use for most items. That tends to be like, I'll remember precisely like 1 or 2 uses for mushroom wine, few uses for the candles, a few uses for the firkins of prisoner's honey, and then all like the little things, like the small exchanges you can make once you have a bigger hold. I just forget about them shortly thereafter. This episode might be marred by the presence of a man with a leaf blower. It's possible. I don't know. He's been dithering outside for like an hour now. I've told this story before. He sits there and he just leaf blowers the ground. I'm assuming he gets paid hourly because he just sits out there and he leaf blow. There's no leaves. There are no trees here for there to be leaves. What does he leaf blow? Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. There are leaves in the parking lot, but in the place next to my window, not a single tree for like a ways. Not at all. Pretty excited though. I'm moving out of here in about 30 days actually. I'll be up and out of here in 30 days and I'll finally have a house. I never thought that, like, I would live in a house. I've lived in apartments since I turned 18, and I'm 30 now. Like, I'm 30 years old at this point. And so it's kind of like, I don't know. I live in a place kind of like New York City where everything is really, really expensive. So after a while, you kind of just assume that you're never going to hit any of those life milestones. Like, you just assume you're never going to have a house. You're just going to rent forever because houses out here are like $1 million. Like, and that's for... I would say for like if you're in the hood, like if you're in the bars on the windows hood, you could probably get a house for about $300,000, and it'll be like a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, probably like maybe 1,000 square feet, maybe, and that'll be in the hood. Like it'll be a little rough. It'll be a little rough. You're definitely gonna want to have the security door on the front door. If you get into like any of the nicer suburbs, probably start at around $600,000, $500,000 to get into like a starter house. A fixer-upper, as you will, and then from there it just gets worse and worse and worse. The Bay Area housing market is brutal. We can get the Merciless Modiste. Ah, yes, that'll do nicely. I need a ship, dear heart, and I rather flatter myself that you need me. Well, welcome aboard. The Modiste neither packs lightly nor suffers fools gladly. One solitary scratch on my steamer trunks from you sniveling little homunculi, and I will take this whole blessed lot of you apart at the seams. She turns back, her lips curling into a smile. As I was saying, Captain, you really must try to take the waters here before our cruise. Most invigorating, the brimstone. Take the waters, like swim in them? So we've got a new officer now, and we've actually been... Oh, we can... Now that the Deviless is gone, what guards the gate? When you come inside of the cottage, you think for a moment that it's been overgrown with glistening black ivy. A few more steps, and you notice the ivy is shifting in the wind, before you realize that, as is generally the case in the Neath, there is no wind to speak of. The ivy heaves like a sea, and the closest portion suddenly lifts and dissolves. The air is filled with a deep and savage buzzing. A cloud of great black bees rises above the cottage, extends a limb in your direction. You back away, and you do not run. Okay, sounds all right. We can talk about the Brimstone Convention here. What else did I need from here? I needed Zoop, so we'll get our Zoop. I needed Devil Bone dice as well, and I would figure we might as well get that here rather than anywhere else. So I will refuel. So we're stacked up on fuel again. Devil Bone dice, I think I needed like 7 of them, possibly. I'll bring 7. 7 seems about right. I can go back and watch the footage from the previous episode just to make sure. But with the Zoop, what we needed to do is we had to speak with him. We've got the motor salt. We've got the Zoop. Have you my motor salt, Captain? My Zoop? I am keen to investigate their possibilities. A braising alembic bubbles eagerly in the background. Excellent! He retreats into his galley and bars the door. Day and night, his jugging crucible blazes. What is a jugging crucible? The galley portholes flare crimson across the black Z. He does not answer the door. It's ship biscuits and barreled water for a while. When he emerges, his bandages are yellow with smoke. I am victorious. The Zoop defied me, but I have broken it.
chanterelles from some soggy edge of London, pig stock, a feisty dash of paprika, lament onions, petals from the exile's rose, which grows in hell, and tears from a hanged man or from a heartbroken priest, I believe would suffice. The method of the ingredients combination is singular. I believe I can make use of it. We are charting new culinary frontiers, my captain, but the Fathom King presides over the drowning feasts. He is accustomed to excess, and we must amaze.
That night, the crew dine happily on fish stew. The poissonnier keeps your wineglass topped up, and at the end of dinner approaches you nervously.
I am afraid I have another request, Captain. I need something from Khan's heart. A certain book of recipes. If we were going that way.
He fidgets with the ends of his bandages, avoiding your gaze. Why is he lying to you? So I got hungry. We lost Zoop. His mysterious business in Khan's heart. Feed him food, man. We got supplies. I mean, it's just a side effect of the fact that we went over 50 hunger in the middle of a town. I suppose we can go to... Where do we want to go today? What do we have? I mean, we might as well go to Khan's Heart. I don't really think there's anything else to do there. So we'll probably go out to Iram. We'll swing down to Estival, and then we'll cut west. And by then, I mean, it sort of depends... Sort of depends on what kind of trouble we get into here, because I don't think we're in any condition to be in a fight. Mount Nomad took a piece out of us, a piece that is not so easily replaced. Oh, we've got a Corsair up there. Yeah, I'd really prefer to avoid fights from here on in. And in fact, I probably won't go below the depths of the sea if I can help it. I'll probably stay away from that as an option because most of the stuff underwater has a chance to at least get one hit off if I'm not super careful about the way that I fight. I don't like taking care. I don't like taking care. It uses up my hold space, and I'd rather have that for treasures and valuables. So the Merciless Modiste. What does she do? We didn't have a look at her. Officers. Merciless Modiste, a first officer. She has no difficulties with blood. She very much dislikes blood stains. What does she do? She gives us mirrors, or veils. Oh, good. We don't have anybody that does veils. I can invite her to dinner if I have Zoop and if I have Solace Fruit. She's wielding a knife. I'm a little bit concerned about that. That worries me. What is my first officer doing right now? Mirrors and pages. She's got veils, hearts, and irons. So she's more of a combat officer if you know you're going to war. The Nacreous Outcast is at Hearts Pages, Mirrors, and he's a cook. Hearts Pages. I'll probably keep the guy that we have for right now. Just because it seems a tad safer. Our supplies and everything are looking really, really solid at the moment. This should be a reasonably simple voyage. I don't think we'll have too many problems making our way around the Z right now. Perfecto. In Iram, we will compile a port report. We will check the shops just to make sure I don't have anything else weird going on. A phantasmal encounter. We can sell that. Sacks of dark drop coffee beans. We can trade around. Threshold, we could get a strange catch, but we don't really need that anymore. An element of dawn. We can sell a captivating treasure for 50 fuel. We can buy memories of distant shores with our tales of terror. We can buy Z stories with our tales of terror. I think that would probably be a decent exchange since I tend to get tons of Tales of Terror anyways. I probably wouldn't worry about that. Secrets are a tad expensive, but at a certain point we're going to have so much money that's probably what we're going to dump most of our secrets into so that we can just boost the shit out of our stats. Parabola linen for 50 fragments. Nothing here is really catching my eye, I don't think. I'm not going to buy a secret right now. I'll wait on buying secrets for a little bit until my cash is recovered a little bit. I've dumped stupid amounts of money into buying secrets. Once you get to kind of the back end of the game where all you need is raw stats, you start boosting yourself up to 100 and all the basic stats and things like that. It's a bit of a farm, but, you know, it can be done. Down to the Empire of Hands, although, actually, I know I've got Foxfire candles with me, so I should be able to do something down there. I think that should work out for us pretty well. And since we're so close to Estival, I can also donate supplies to make this a little bit simpler, too. Let's kill the lamp because we've got ourselves a ship right there that I think would very much like to hurt us. If he's going to come about, I'm going to wait and see what he does, but I'd rather slip by safely than actually risk a shot. I think he does upwards of 30-ish damage, so yeah. It would sting a tiny bit, and it would put us far closer to that threshold than I'd like to admit. I don't want to be near that. If we die at this point in this game, I will be very, very upset. I mean, that'll be the end of the series, too. So you would probably also be very, very upset. You've been following this for like months now, a month. Little over a month. With little gaps here and there. Empire of Hands. I would suggest, well, here, let's go to Port Stanton. We don't have souls with us right now. We'll get our port report, though, because we're kind of far out here. We'll go to the Zeppelin. I would say... let's maybe dump 5 supplies in here, and then we'll go to Estval afterwards. So we got 7 Drowning Pearls. That will make it so that we've got Wild Wheel status up to 12. Our current status with the... monkeys pay you for your goods. You receive a reward when the entire Zeppelin has been completed. So the Zeppelin supplies, the Empire of Hands will need them all where it is going. So it looks like I've done 10 right there, and I don't know how many I can actually donate. Now that that's done, technically we could take shore leave. We might lose our soul, though, which you don't want to be soulless. Being soulless can be a bad thing or it can be a good thing. It just sort of depends. On Fountainhead Island, we will go to the Vault of the First Emperor. And because we have the Foxfire candles, we can finally advance this through the doors and into the depths. At the bottom of the stairs is a room with a sealed stone door. In front of that stands a pointedly placed plinth with tons of alliteration, holding 3 thin pillars and some stone discs. The delightful adventuress rolls her eyes. A trial of the mind, it appears. How very adorable. It appears as though our monkey friends' ancestors have absorbed more than a few souls with a passion for things of the pulp. Oh, well, should make things more interesting. She slaps your shoulders. Do the honors, Capitano. All right. Straightforward challenge. 3 poles, stone discs. Oh, please. The Towers of Hanoi puzzle. That little children's game that's been amusing London in recent years. This antechamber must be a more recent addition to the vault than it looks, if the monkeys have bought into this legend. A minor problem suddenly reveals itself. Well, I see you have this under control, declares the delightful adventuress, heading back upstairs. I leave it in your evidently very capable hands. An occurrence. Your Empire of Hands Towers of Hanoi moves remaining is 32,767. A child could solve this eventually. We can continue solving the puzzle. I mean, it's not... And then you leave for a little bit. Somewhere within the Empire of Hands may be able to help with this. I would suggest, if we're going to return to the boat, we sail. Let's go to Hearthsake and see if they know. Dine at the captain's table. We can get the Lost Treasure Hunter. We can raid the Empire of Hands, which is a rough one. Ahoy! How goes your search, he asks. Find anything? It's a voice that so badly wants the answer to be no. So I can trade supplies for Foxfire candles. You have a newspaper. At least I won't feel entirely lost when I get back home. I do. So I have 3 sticks of dynamite. The Lost Treasure Hunter scans the latest headlines. Fascinating, he mutters. It should be most absorbent if needs must. Yep, everybody got to wipe their ass. That's the way life goes. So he bids you good hunting. We've got the dynamite. Now I think we can go back and blow this open. I think. Yeah, we can blow the door open with dynamite. There's more than one way to show intelligence. Bits of rubble and clockwork fly. The stonework trembles slightly as if about to collapse and then settles with just the occasional plink-plink of metal and the tinkle of falling shards and gears of all sizes. Well, that certainly is one solution, declares the delightful adventuress, unplugging her ears. I think, though, darling, I shall be taking the rest of those. Cannot fault your thinking, but we would rather reach the center of this quaint little tomb without ourselves becoming buried in it, would we not? Still, splendid resourcefulness, splendid. Top marks. Into the vault. The delightful adventuress produces a large ball of yarn. With all credit due to Theseus, she says, nailing one end of the wall. I suspect, however, we shall not have to worry about a minotaur lurking in this particular maze. Come on. Such things are hardly a problem for a woman of adventure, but this will take a jiffy. She leads the way with utter confidence, even when it becomes clear she has no idea where she's going. Even when it becomes painfully obvious to all that she's merely turning left at every intersection, confident that eventually this will lead to the exit. The string runs out long before the maze does, yet somehow this does not feel like an insurmountable problem for returning. This part of the temple looks distinctly more ancient and more carefully crafted by its architect. A sense of respect and history pervades. A mosaic floor stands between you and the door. The delightful adventuress catches your arm before you can step onto it. Oh, sweetie, she sighs, pointing at the walls. Little holes run down both of them, just large enough to see the ready crossbow bolts behind. Isn't this wonderful, she says. I've seen many, many tombs, and most just put something big and heavy in front of the door. Bless their hearts for putting all this effort into something nobody was ever supposed to see. Anyways, be it dear. I'll be outside if you need me. She heads back to her camp. So I can attempt to read the inscriptions if my pages are good enough. I can examine the mosaic floor. 9 colored tiles stretch across the corridor. Choosing wrong leads to a wound. The monkey tongue follows no apparent rules, being a creole of many and diluted with each new scribe. It takes someone capable of writing to even stand a chance at decrypting it, but the age of the inscriptions and lack of anything similar elsewhere in the Empire of Hands suggests it is a long-lost art. Perhaps the exquisite seneschal can help. There we go. So let's go talk to the seneschal. Seneschal, you can help me out so I can steal your monkey treasures. The wild-wheeled court. I don't think we have a lot of favor, though. Silent gallery. The emperor sleeps and feasts. The exquisite seneschal. There we are. I was going to ask the vault inscriptions. Yeah, I need wild-wheeled status 30. That's going to be a rough one. I got to give them all kinds of bullshit to make this work. So with wild wheel 30... I think I can trade souls here. The mayor will pay 200 echoes for my soul. Fresh supplies for 20 echoes. Yeah. So 20 supplies for... Oh, 20 for a supply. Okay. Fuel is expensive. Excuse myself. See, I thought there was somebody here that would buy souls pretty much endlessly so that you could increase your wild wheeled status. But instead, it looks like we're going to be donating mostly. All right. That's fine. No biggie. I've walked through, I've done the wild wheel thing without getting the status before by just guessing tiles. It was pretty sweet, actually. I just clicked tiles randomly and it came out okay. It was a long time ago. And you wouldn't think it would work out like that because, let's be honest here, you've actually got 5 options, and 5 options that can be given in any, it's 5 integral or whatever, 5 that can be used in any order, and if they repeat, it gets worse. I don't know if they repeat. Yeah, I don't know if they repeat. They might. I don't recall if you step on the yellow one could be used again or something like that. I suppose it depends. I should get my ship repaired. I should really, really think about it. If I kill a couple bound sharks, I'd be able to get this up to 150-ish, which would make me feel a lot safer about... Oh, shit balls. Yeah, we need to get the hell out of here. Please don't blow up. Oh my god, there's a... Shit. We got problems. Real legitimate problems. The engine didn't explode though, so that's good. Where'd he run off to? I can fight him, but only if I get the jump on him. The problem was that I started out way too close to him. I'm on you, little bastard. There we go. I had to cancel that out. Got too close. Ooh, he doesn't give a damn about our stagger. There we go. Behemoth stash is down. I really don't like fighting under these conditions. It makes me feel incredibly nervous. With the behemoth stash, I can let it go. I can dig around in its innards. Yeah, let's do that. You now have an unprepossessing mass. What's inside? Eggs. Call them Z eggs, the bosun suggests. We don't want to tell the crew what they are. They're safe to eat, but, you know. That's all that we get, really? Oh, I should have just taken the mustache. Fine, then, or let it go to the Gant Pole. Suppose I learned that lesson the hard way. We should probably hit Hideaway while we're over here, because that's where I think the old Asian guy is that's supposed to be our navigator? I don't remember what his job was. He was either the engineer or the navigator or something. He had a job on our ship, all right? Back we go into Temtum's folds. Let's see here. We're going to assemble our port report. Obviously, we should probably do that right now. There are no shops. The sprightly visionary, yeah, the 7 against Nida have returned. Check on an investigator. Where do they store their goods? Go to the shops tab and see what's up over here. Oh, they've got decent prices, actually. Reasonably solid prices. It might be worth it in the interest of donating fuel and or supplies to just load up here. Oh, that's selling. Never mind. I do that every single time. Every single time I do that. Every single time. Every time I've come here, I think I've accidentally clicked that by not paying attention. You recognize him from Miriam's bone statue. He is Eric, the 7's captain. He grins wickedly and squeezes your arm. Then he begins scribbling in his notebook. Have been waiting, he writes. Tell Miriam I've not been idle. Help me, and the 7 will have a potent weapon against Nida. Okay, so what does he want me to do? Terror no more than 25. Need particularly steady hands to repair cabling. Assist. My terror is kind of high right now. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that I can do there. And that sort of necessitates that I think I might have to go to the Gant Pole. Getting over there with... Oh shit, it's a Thalet. I think we should have time to escape from it. There we go. So off to Estval. We'll grab some supplies from there. Gotta figure out a way to get my terror down. What's close? Nothing around that I think would be particularly useful for killing off the massive amount of terror that I have right now. Let's go ahead and get our port report. We will also gather supplies. 10 supplies. Hooray. We fill our hold. Good stuff. With 16 supplies, we could also reasonably consistently make another run back to the Empire of Hands and dump off like 5 more supplies there just to make things a little bit easier. Trying to think of, aside from the Gant Pole, I can't think of a whole lot of ways that I'm going to be able to get my terror down. Submerging is very, very risky right now, by the way. Simply due to the fact that you can come down right next to a monster, and then you'll have major issues. I should probably kill something before I go back to the Gant Pole so that at least we advance that quest too. Seems like a reasonably decent charge. Something that might be intelligent to accomplish. Restless Nights, ignore that so that we get our fear back. We are officially at the Gant Pole. You are not welcome here. They're so friendly. That looks like a monster right there. What kind of monster is it, though? A boundling. Okay. Not as terrible as it could be. Could be a tougher creature, so I'm thankful. There we go. I don't know if I can send that one to the bound pole, though, or to the Gant Pole. I don't know if that one will actually suit. That one might be too weak. I can carve him up. I can tear the cage for it. Yeah, do that. So you've gained... Removing the cage is back-breaking work. Rods of steel run through the boundling's inflamed, swollen flesh. Its body had warped to fit the cage. Even its red eyes are distorted. And we got 10 hull and 3 hunting trophies. Not bad. There's really no reason to be at the Gant Pole if we haven't killed anything recently, so... I suppose I can stop in and just check and see if we've killed something that I forgot about, but I don't think we have. I've been mostly harvesting everything for the goodies. Get my port report. The fading haruspex doesn't matter. We can explore deeper into the Gant Pole. It's an almost impossible challenge. The corridors of the heart. Something at the center of the Gant Pole calls to you, the part of you that feels tired and weary, that craves sleep without the inevitability of waking. The more you walk, the closer you will get. Nah, I'm good. I think we're solid on that challenge. No, thank you. I think I'd rather not. Can sell a harlot fry for 10 trophies. Can also buy Stygian ivory if I wanted to make some money that way, but I don't know. Let me stop here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Sunless Sea Zubmariner. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. I am kind of interested to see how we're going to play this one out. I don't know. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.